All right, let's jump right into this. Have you ever really stopped to think about the name Good Friday? It's a question Teresa Kay's blog really gets into. How can a day that was filled with so much pain and suffering possibly be called good? It seems like a total contradiction, but it's right there, in that paradox, that we find the very heart of Christian hope.
And wow, this slide just puts that jarring contrast front and center, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the brutal facts of the day: betrayal, injustice, a horrific death. But on the other side, it's one of the most sacred, most hopeful days of the year. A day that literally changed everything. So what's going on here? How can both of these things be true at the same time?
Okay, so let's break this down. What's so powerful here is this idea of what was seen on the surface versus what was really happening underneath. I mean, from the outside, it looked like a total disaster. His followers were terrified and scattered. His mother was watching in unimaginable pain. It was defeat. But beneath all that, a deeper, spiritual reality was unfolding. The greatest act of love the world has ever known was happening, an intentional sacrifice by a sinless man.
And that word, intentional, is so key. It leads us straight to the big question, probably the most important question of all. Why? If this was all on purpose, what was the point? Why was this sacrifice even necessary?
Well, according to Teresa Kay's blog, the answer starts with something the Bible calls the great separation. You see, Romans chapter 3, verse 23 talks about how sin creates this huge gap, this deep chasm between us and a perfectly holy God.
And here's the solution illustrated so powerfully. Christ's sacrifice wasn't just a tragedy, it was the bridge. It spanned that impossible gap. It paid a debt that we could never, ever pay on our own. Isaiah chapter 53, verse 5 puts it this way: He was pierced for our transgressions. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed.
So this is where we have to totally flip the script in our minds. The cross isn't just about suffering. It's not a symbol of defeat. When you understand what was actually accomplished there, you see it for what it is. It's a symbol of ultimate victory.
And this isn't just some abstract victory. No, this victory is so huge. It literally rewrites our relationship with time. Think about it for a second. Because of the cross, your past is forgiven. All of it. Your present is redeemed. It has purpose and meaning right now. And your future, it is completely secure.
But we have to be so clear on why this happened. This wasn't an accident. He wasn't a victim of circumstance. There's this amazing quote that says it all. It was not the nails that held Jesus to the cross. It was love. Just let that sink in. It was a choice, a willing sacrifice, all driven by love.
Okay, and this is where it all gets personal. It's really easy to think of this as a big historical story, right? Something that happened way back when for humanity. But that's not the full picture. The real power of Good Friday is realizing he didn't just die for the world. He died for you.
And when you really truly let that sink in, man, it changes everything. It's humbling, for sure. It awakens this incredible sense of gratitude. But it does something else too. It gives you this rock-solid proof that whatever pain you're in, it's not the final chapter. And it's a constant reminder that you never ever have to walk alone.
So what do you do with a love like that? How do you even begin to respond? Well, it's not about trying to earn it. You can't. It's a gift that's already been given. The only real response is surrender. It's about responding to that amazing love by living a life that comes from a place of love.
So what does that look like, day to day? I love this practical framework. It starts inward, in the heart, taking time to reflect. Then it moves outward into our actions, how we treat people, how we forgive, and finally, it points us onward, completely reshaping our perspective on life and all its challenges.
And here's something so important to remember. The story has a Saturday. We love to jump from the pain of Friday to the celebration of Sunday, but there's that day in between, that quiet day of waiting and trusting in the darkness. And sometimes that's where we live, isn't it? In the waiting. And it's in that space that our faith can grow the strongest.
So let's circle all the way back to where we started. Why is it Good Friday? This slide just lays it out so clearly. It's good because through his suffering, we find our healing. Through his obedience, we find our redemption. And through his death, we receive life. That right there is the good news.
And the best part, the ultimate hope,
The story doesn't end in the dark of Friday. Jesus didn't stay in the grave. Sunday came. And because he lives, we can look at whatever tomorrow holds and we can face it with faith, with courage, and with a peace that just doesn't make sense any other way.